When I went to pastry school, a lot of the things I found really fun were new ingredients I'd never heard of or used, old ingredients I was afraid to try, or using old ingredients in a new way. And non-fat milk solids or milk powder is definitely one of those ingredients. It is so versatile and necessary in the bake shop that I have seen more and more questions about it and more articles about how to use it. Most of them suggest that you just throw a little bit in and see how it goes. But if we're going to revert to our professionalism and our ingredient function, I am going to consider what is it made of, how's it made, and what effect does it have on different products in the bake shop, and then how can you control that to get a really good result. So what it is milk that has been sprayed and basically some heat's been applied so that the moisture, most of the moisture, is evaporated, so you're left with 95 to 97% powder, solids, okay? And in here lives your protein, your sugar in the form of lactose, carbohydrates. You're going to have emulsification properties, flavor, and you're going to be able to get the Maillard reaction going, so you can brown the things that this is in. Non-fat milk solids are very shelf stable, meaning that this can stay on the shelf for a year, whereas like your milk in the refrigerator is going to go bad soon. And that has a lot to do with the water content, because when you control the water, you control the shelf stability of any product. In my own personal practice, I use powdered milk for three things. Ice cream, always, because you're always wanting to add a little bit of sweetness. You want a creaminess in your ice cream, but you can't keep adding water, certainly not the amount of water that you would need, like if you were using milk. That's going to create all kinds of ice crystals in your ice cream. So this is really a secret in ice cream making that is fabulous. I like to use it for my sugar cookies, butter cookies, shortbread cookies, because again, you're keeping this really creaminess, but you're also getting a nice tender tooth on your cookie, which is what you want out of a delicate cookie. So that's really useful, and not adding any moisture, which will toughen and do all kinds of other stuff. The third thing I like to use it for, and my favorite, are my soft dinner rolls. This is a key ingredient because this is going to emulsify and work with the gluten protein strands, keeping them softer so that when you pull and bite into your dinner roll, it's not tough, okay? That is just like adding butter and fats and things like that. It's the same thing, only it has different parts. And the lack of moisture is the number one thing that you need to think about when you think about milk powder. I get a lot of questions about toasting milk powder, and that is such a great idea because toasting anything from your sugars to nuts, white chocolate, coconut, toasting anything is going to give it more flavor. So if you want to toast it in the oven and get it a little brown and then use it, go ahead. If you want to throw it in with your butter while you're browning it, you're getting a little dicey, okay? And if you're not keeping track of everything, I don't know that you'll be able to replicate the results, but you can definitely play with it. Anytime you brown anything, you're getting flavor. But I'm going to give you one push. If you're going to be a stickler about browning milk powder or browning butter or toasting anything, then I say you also need to pay attention to how long you bake your products. Because if you're baking your cookies, your muffins, everything to the lightest possible color, and you're not taking it to that dark color, then you are not making the connection of why we toast things, why the Maillard reaction matters. It doesn't just matter in each individual ingredient. The final product also needs to be baked to the point where you're taking advantage of everything coming together. That's what baking and pastry is. It's this magical coalescing of every single ingredient being treated like gold. And then you get to eat it and enjoy it, and you get to taste with every bite the layering of the toasting, the proteins, the sugars, all of these amazing things. The way that I would use it is not just to throw it into any recipe. I would look at the recipes that already include dairy, whether that's buttermilk or sour cream or anything like that, and see what you can do with this. Okay, I'm always going to say scale, keep track of your percentages, take notes, and be careful. But this could up your baking by many, many degrees. And then I'm going to say one more thing. Malted milk powder is really wonderful for flavor, but it is not interchangeable with milk powder. This actually has gluten in it and quite a bit of sodium and flavor, and they're all different and they're all proprietary. So malt powder, malted milk, is not milk powder. It is different, and you just want to be careful that you know the difference. So if you've heard a lot about how to hack your baking and that this is the answer, I want you to use your critical thinking skills, and I want you to think, what is it replacing? What is it doing? How much of it do I need to use? How am I using it? When am I using it? And what kind of result am I looking for? Then you are somebody who can handle experimenting with this. So it's a game changer. It's amazing. Add flavor, add bulk, add creaminess, but know what you're doing and know what's in here. And check it off your list. Now you know what non-fat milk solids are. Now you know what milk powder does. And now you know what it can do for your baking. And I say go bake. Let me know how you use it and what you find.